Welcome to this session of Object-Oriented Analysis and Design. In this session, we will summarize SSD, System Sequence Diagram, and we will see what is significance of SSD, what is use of SSD for designer, because SSD will be generated by an analyst and it will be used by designer to generate design artifacts. So if you remember, in SSD we show system as black box. So we don't open internal details of the system, and external actor, maybe cashier, interacts with this system by means of different messages, and system also give response to cashier. So this request and response, this set of all messages indicate that how system is going to respond to the outside world and how outside world is going to interact with the system. So what will be the use of such kind of system sequence diagram? So showing this interaction, how it is useful for the designer. Are we saying that programmers will directly use SSD to write a program? No, this is not possible, because system sequence diagram gives overall interaction of system with the outside world. It is not giving detailing of that. So it will not be directly useful for programmer. What should happen? Designer should take this SSD and designer should make use of that SSD to generate some design artifacts. So what design artifacts can be generated by using SSD? If you look at SSD, it is showing different messages coming from external world to the system. Now whenever we say system is a black box and external messages are coming from the actors, so that messages are nothing but external event. So for example, if you look at SSD for point of sale case study, if you look at all the messages, so which are the messages inside SSD? Make new sale. That means cashier is generating some event. That event may be pressing a menu button or maybe pressing some keystroke or something. Okay, so some event cashier is generating which indicates or which in turn sends a message make new sale to the system. Then you look at other message, add line item. So what is that add line item? So somehow cashier is raising the event that you have more item to add, and at the end cashier is generating the event which is stating that entering all items are finished. So your data entry for the sale is completed now. So there may be some button titled as end sale. So that button is getting pressed by cashier. So some event will be generated, end sale, add line item, make new sale. So this kind of events are generated by cashier. So you can see event generation and event handling by system inside SSD. So any clue why SSD will be useful? I hope you guessed correctly. What happened? Designer take this SSD, designer get clue of all the events which are happening from external world to the system, and this event handling will be very useful for creating effective graphical user interface design. So creation of GUI, that is very important for designer, because designing forms, designing graphical user interface for your software is major area in the design phase. So for this graphical user interface design, this SSD plays key role. It shows which all buttons, which all interface items you need to provide to user, so that all the messages which are given in SSD should be possible in GUI. So what designer will do whenever he will design the form for this particular scenario, he will actually have some button or something to generate make new cell. He will have some provision to have add line item message. He will have some event handling provision to do end cell event. So in this way SSD plays key role in designing GUI by the designer. So that's all about significance of SSD for the designer. Thanks for watching this session. See you in the next lecture.